Hey guys, and welcome back to Wild Plum Farm. So, what I'm currently up to, sorry, I'm trying to get you guys set up there. So, what I'm currently up to is, been really busy this summer. We ended up having we have another baby in the house, which is absolutely wonderful. And this summer we've been super busy. As you can see, my shed right here has a little bit of plywood on it. That was one of the things I had to get done. I still have to cut up and over this direction, and I just have to cut it off, get more sheets up there, and then I can start going inside, cutting the studs out, reframing for the new windows, get those windows installed, get the doors installed. Also, partially what you saw from some shorts is we have an addition going on our house. That's taking a lot of our time and effort right now. And so we're going to have that done hopefully for New Year's, or at least most of the way done for New Year's. The other thing we got going is we actually did some work on the barn. I don't have a whole lot of videos, so I'm going to take you along and show you real fast on what we did to the barn and what we plan on doing this winter. Actually, before we head to the barn, we did take down this giant chokecherry tree. It was touching the roof, and we have to redo that here this fall really fast. So I'm going to get that all taken care of, but first we had to get this chokecherry tree out of here. And that's the stump. This actually ended up having to be taken down between myself and with the help of my wife. We had to actually hook on, first we hooked on a winch cable, and that pulled down the first tree, but we hooked it onto the second part of the tree, and the cable actually snapped out of the winch and came back. So we grabbed 4 heavy log chains and hooked it on, and hooked it onto this portion here, and well, right there is the beginning of the divot, and right there's the stump. That tree, when it finally popped loose, it actually popped up and moved and came down where it's resting right now. And that took our 2,500 to do that. So I'm going to bring you guys around to the barn real fast, and I'll show you what we got done. As we're walking over to the barn, one of the things I did too is I changed out our chicken door. That is actually I think it's called a Chicken Guard Pro with you can buy them with a steel door, or you can use it and make your own, and I'll show you guys that here in a little bit too. Also, over the summer, we ended up ordering, because of the bird flu this year, took out a lot of the chickens. We had a coon come through and kill a couple of barred rock, but we ordered up 20 ISA browns for our flock. And I will say, they are a very pretty bird. I enjoy them, but we'll hopefully, they'll begin laying here pretty heavily. They are actually supposed to lay 360 eggs a year on average. So we'll see how that one goes. So another thing that we did, aside from this mess, this is kind of interesting. A buddy of mine and I actually split a pasture, and it only cost us both 42 bucks. And we each got gates. I got a couple of corral panels too, but I got this cattle panel. I have over 40 panels of it laying here right now. I got to get it up and set against the garage or against the shed. At some point in this winter, this fence here is actually going to get cut down, and this fence here is going to get taken out. And then eventually a little addition, just enough to allow cattle to come out of this shed, or sheep. That's going to be our big thing. Another thing is we have finally tuck pointed the exterior of this barn. That took me over 4 days, just this side. I did that while on paternity leave this time, And boy, the more it ages, the more the nicer it looks. As you can see, there's a couple of different times where the mixture changed recipes just a little bit, but by the time I got done, so I started over here, started tuck pointing some big spots and didn't like it. So then I figured out a different recipe and I went down there and started. As you can see, it's a little bit darker. That still has cement in it. And a good amount of it. It was a heavy amount of cement. Now, what I ended up doing was actually making it, if I remember correctly, it's 6-3-1. 6 parts sand, which is just sand from over in a little pit over there behind that kennel gate. 3 parts, anywhere from 2 to 3 parts lime, which is what actually makes it stick to the sandstone, and then 1 part cement. Sometimes it could be up to 2, and that's why there's some areas that are darker than others. But what I'm going to end up doing this winter on this barn is, I'm going to back you guys out here. So these 3 windows here are the original. They were original to this barn. They were in this barn. Now, what I'm going to do is actually cut the nails off. There's nails nailed into the sandstone on both sides. I'm going to cut them off, cut off the tops, push them out. I'm going to build a sill on the bottom and then turn it, run, and I'm actually going to put a header up here, up at the top of the windows. Each one of them, they're going to be slightly smaller. And then I'm going to go to Menards and I'm going to purchase actual barn sills or barn windows. Paint them white, or yeah, I'll paint those white. And I'm hoping by next fall, we can actually start siding this side of the barn. That section there will actually get its sheet metal taken off, and we will also reside that. And same with this will get resided with blue. When we go on to other sides, we will have to do a little bit of fixing. Roofs will probably have to get replaced. This roof will have to get replaced at some point, because I can see where the rafters are actually. I don't know if it shows up on camera, but there is a divot about 3/4 of the way up. And I think the rafters are actually sagging, which isn't good. So I'll get those replaced. But then we got to work on this side of the barn. We actually have to take that door and shove it up and close it, or completely take it down and just sheet metal over the top of it, over the top of the hole, which is more of what I'm inclined to do. I think it'll look nicer. Maybe what I'll do is I'll leave the rails and make a door. So we'll see how that goes. But yes, this roof will more than likely get replaced here next year or in the year following as we sheet metal the barn. One of the other purchases we made was this. My sickle bar mower broke last year, I think. I put a fix in it and then decided, you know what, it's about time I work on getting a hay bine. So I bought this thinking that I could hook it up to my 4400, and I can't. But it is a Gale 1090. When I bought it, it actually had a super single on it, on that side. Super single was going flat all the time. I pumped it up, would go flat within a couple hours. So I had the extra parts for it. I have a ton of extra parts for this thing. I mean, it's a nice hay bine. It works really, really well. We just have to go super slow with it. The interesting thing, now, if anyone is out there looking for a Gale 1090 or anything like this model, it doesn't have normal springs. You don't actually store it in the down position. This one you actually store locked out and up. So the cylinder and the head is all the way up, and there's a lockout pin right there. That prevents it. That sets how low this thing can go. And yes, I'm going to have to put new hoses on. But PTO, this thing gets greased after every use. That Ford 509 baler, that I used last year. That thing worked phenomenally, and the rake worked really, really well. If anyone knows anyone who wants to get any barn beams out of western Wisconsin, leave a comment. I have a ton of these. This will have to be a really, really quick comment because probably in a few weeks, if I don't sell these things off, I'm going to cut them down and use them for firewood. They are good, dry hardwoods. I'll clean them off and use them for that. So kind of like last year, I did a lot of, I did a decent amount of hay. I probably had over 100. Oh, I know I had over 100 bales. Oh, for crying out loud, how many did I do? I don't remember exactly. I did a lot of bales. I had a lot of bales this year. And I sold every single hay bale already. Unfortunately, I only got 2 cuts in. First cut was so hard because of the weather. We had a really hard time getting out. And it was unbelievably hard to get out and actually take care of it. So I only got 2 cuts off of it. The first cut, I got a ridiculous number. Well, I say I got over 100 bales. And put it on the hay wagon, and we stacked it in the barn. And then also we had, then on the second cut, we had about 40, 50 bales. So I ended up selling those already out too. But one of the other things I bought, finally, was a fuel barrel. It has been phenomenal on having the fuel barrel. I like it because I can just pull the tractors up right here, turn the ball valve on, unlock it, squirt it into the tank. It's probably the coolest thing. One thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to save. This fuel tank leaks a little bit, so I'm actually going to, I don't know if I'm going to buy a new one, probably not a new one, but a used one, stick some extra money into it. I only bought this thing for $25, so if I could buy another one, great. What I'm going to do is actually make it so I have this 12 volt pump. I'm going to build a box down at the base here, right here, and I'm going to utilize that pump. I'm going to utilize the hose, and I'm going to put some black iron fittings up to the top of the tank. So one will actually be able to pump fuel in, one will be able to pump fuel out, and I will be able to pump fuel. So it'll have two valve sets in there, depending on what you want to do. And you can circulate fuel in the tank if you wanted to. I'm going to put a little solar charger for a 12 volt down there. I'm also going to put, there it is. I'm going to put that little gas tank there. It's only a 30 gallon. It's an old oil drum. And that will save me a ton of headaches. Another thing. That is an upgraded expansion tank for the house. Our house feeds our entire farm for water. And when you're trying to water the garden, it is a absolute pain to water the garden. I'm not super keen on it. But, oh man, I'm starting to get plugged up. But, I'll show you here. Ooh, door's closed on me. Hey. There we go. So, that's much better. I now have my recording stick. I forgot to even add this out here. But, yeah. Barn is somewhat cleaned out. We got a couple things on auction here. That is our temporary setup for plucking chickens, making maple syrup on the farm, which is something we plan on doing here this spring. One of the things that I'm going to be doing over the winter is finishing up, cleaning out the hay mow, which I wish I could show you. It's so dark up there, I don't think I can. That is almost, that mound of junk right there, which is almost to the ceiling, is what's left of cleaning out the hay mow. I do have to do some more cleaning now from the hay. And I'm going to, also this winter, refloor the barn. Now, reflooring the barn is going to be a tad bit expensive. It's going to be close to $1,000, if not more. It'll probably be 25, maybe 2,500. No, it'll probably be less. No, it'll be more. It'll be, yeah, not 25, 15, 1,500 is what it's going to cost me. That's just what it's going to cost to get the barn redone. In the hay mow anyways. Down here, we're going to take out all the stanchions, all the water cups, all the black iron piping or the galvanized piping, and we're going to send all of that off to auction. Maybe even I might keep the milker. I'll keep 1 or 2 milk spigots. And maybe a headlock or 2 just to have around in case we do decide to do dairy cattle. That's just what I want to do. One of the other things that we're going to end up doing is this end of the barn back here where it's all closed off still has to finish getting cleaned out. Once this is all cleaned out, this barn is actually going to have probably next spring I'm going to have to finish tuck pointing the inside of this barn. I'll do the inside. Oh, and also this door here is going to get widened out because right now I can get the 1025 through that with the bucket on. But, I mean, we'd be scraping our teeth on both sides. So what my plan is that I'm going to bust it out first, get a header put across this whole area here. I'm going to get that window possibly taken out, or I'm going to lower it a hair. I'll probably just take it out and put a bigger door in here, put a header up so it fits and it looks nice. And then after I do that, this area out here where my tractor sits is going to turn into a feeding area for sheep and cattle. So where I currently store a lot of my tools, like my KM and my weed whip, our external generator in case the power goes out. I have a spare fuel tank out here. Now it's currently empty. I need to refill it so I can get fuel for the tractor if it ever comes like down to the wire. Let me see here. Oh, I also picked up last year. I picked up a welder and a drill press. I still haven't got my shop done enough to put them out there. However, I do have an outlet here in the barn that I can run the welder off of because I have enough power coming out to the barn. But, yeah. I'm thinking about selling the tractor just because it doesn't quite serve our needs. It needs to be, well, I need to go up in chassis size because the drawbar on this can't handle the hay bind. And also, just horsepower wise, I don't think it can handle the hay bind, which it is what it is. I'm thinking I'm going to get rid of the tractor. If anyone's ever interested, it is the shuttle shift, but I'll tell you what, for doing loader work, it's great. Hit the clutch, flip the shuttle, drive backwards. It's not as convenient as hydrostatic, but once you get used to it and you get used to choosing your gears, which I'll tell you what, this thing drives 15 miles an hour down the road. Really nice. That's why there's strobes and mirrors on it. There's a lot of work lights on that thing. They're great. My next tractor is going to have a cab on it. Lord willing, I can get it. And it waits for me. But I really want to pick up it's a 1990s Ford, what is it? It's a 4630. It's in good shape, has half the hours of my John Deere, and it has twice the horsepower. almost 3 times the weight. So, and it's widened out, but I'm going to widen it out even further once I get it home so we can do hay with it. It'll be a good utility tractor for this farm. The only reason why I'm not afraid of getting rid of that 4400 is because we do have a John Deere 1025, which has a belly mower on it, and that 1025 can pull the 72 inch if we want to. It's just the 72 inch is getting too big for the amount of yard we have, which is kind of interesting to say. And that's just because of, like, we have the orchard, but what it took me to mow this entire lawn with the 4400 and the 72 inch, it takes me just as long to mow with the 1025 and a 54 inch, which riddled me that one. It's because the 1025 is more maneuverable and we can still trim with it. So it, like, Crystal was out running the mower the last time she mowed this entire yard in 2.5 hours. That's incredible. She did it while the kids were napping. But yeah, I do have some wood purchased for the flooring to start the flooring upstairs, and that's only going to get me about a quarter of the way. Let me think here. What else? Yeah, other than tuck pointing, we're getting wood cut, split, and stacked for the winter. Boy, what else? I really can't think of anything else, which is kind of a bummer. Yeah, our kitten that I showed you in the short here not too long ago, he unfortunately passed away. Not what we wanted, but he's gone. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. It's part of farm life, though. So, we really enjoyed him while we had him, but yeah, he just up and died one day. I found him underneath the porch, just cold. So, yeah, but it's getting dark. Crystal and I got a couple of projects that we're going to finish up after we put the kids to bed and on the addition. Once we're done with the addition, I'll show you what we got. And, yeah, I know this was a bit of a longer, kind of a quick speed run of what we've done over the summer. I know there's a lot more we've done. Like I said, I was over at my mother's, and I cut, split, and stacked a bunch of wood that she had taken down. I took down a bunch of trees in her yard. Soon we'll be vacuuming up pine needles and leaves with the 1025. That's why it's not in the barn right now. What else? Like I said, our ultimate goal is to try to seal this place up and get ready to have animals in the next year or so. I really want to get some cattle. I know Crystal wants to get sheep. We're going to get hair sheep, which are ones that don't need to be sheared. And we're going to have them, I'm going to figure out a way once we bust out the floor in here, get it lower. I know to a lot of you guys, it doesn't seem like that bad, but I'm 5'6", and I can touch my main beam. That is really, really low or for a ceiling. However, you can see the split in the floor right there. That is where the original floor to the barn was. So this barn was actually jacked up a lot. And I know the mangers are really, really high. And so what we're going to do is we're going to bust out all the mangers, everything, make this floor perfectly level so I can get the 1025 in here and actually clean the barn once we have animals and bedding in here. We are going to continue to do square bales until we either until I really get sick and tired of doing square bales, or round bales become a better option for feeding. So like I said, this room behind me here is probably going to become the feeder room eventually. But as of right now, I don't have round bales. So let's, there we go. Yeah. What else? What else have we done around this farm? I really can't think of anything else we've done around here. Boy, this is not good. I mean, we've purchased a lot of stuff. We started decluttering around here. Honestly, I'm going to take some old. We got a lot of stuff that we're going to sell off. But yeah, this winter is going to be interesting to see how this goes. But anywho, guys, I'm sitting here getting tired. Yeah, I know it's only like 5:30, but like I said, we got a project yet to do tonight that's going to take us a bit. So I'm going to sign off. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry I haven't been making a ton of long forms, mostly shorts over the summer and this fall, but I plan on doing some long forms. Crystal did catch small videos of cutting down the tree. However, the videos weren't super great because when she pulled back or let off the brakes, the truck would roll forward. So she tried to pull tension back and would hit the throttle really fast, and it would jerk the cable and the chain. And no one got hurt, but it did make the phone go flying. So we'll have to figure that one. We'll have to show you some other tree cutting videos later on. But yeah, this is like my third outro, so I'm just gonna keep this one short. I'm sick and tired of doing this over and over and over again. Yes, I do multiple takes. So guys, I'm gonna sign off. I hope you guys are staying healthy out there, staying safe. Stay tuned. We got a lot more coming. A lot more videos that I can do for you. So God bless you. We'll see you next time. Take care of yourselves. Bye.